Hey, hi, what's up? How's it going? My name is Megan and welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I'm just going to be going over some projects that I'm in. I am a project planner over on my Instagram. If you want to check that out, I will link it below. And I thought it would be a good idea just to go through the projects that I'm in with you guys now, so you can kind of refer back to this video, because I will do some updates on here and I'll make those playlists. But also, so if you see products that are frequent flyers, it's because they're in a project, so I'm using them more frequently than others in my collection. If you're not into that, that's okay, but that's what I'm gonna talk about today. So So to start, the first project I'm doing is a Pan That palette for 2021. The palette that I chose is the Tati Beauty palette from Tati. I miss her and I really hope that she'll come back and we'll see a volume 2. I'm not panning this palette because I hate it. I'm panning it because it's one that I love. And over on my Instagram, I did stories and let my followers pick my PTP this year, and this is the one that won. So just so you know, when I started this project, I had a pan in this shade and a pan in this shade up here. So all of the other pans you see are what I've done throughout the year. Guess I could move this over here. But this is all the work I've put into the palette so far this year. I recently just repressed that shade, and because it was like so hard pressed into the corners because I'd gotten so much use out of it that it was getting difficult to use. So I repressed it, and I feel like I will probably go through it pretty quickly now. Basically, I've hit pan in a lot of the neutrals. I have begun working on some of these black shades. I'm going to start playing more in the pink row. They're just more difficult for me because even though that this pink poet row is really nice, the pinks are more of a deep tone, so they work for me. I'm still just really like intimidated by pink. I feel like it looks on me, so I don't really reach for the pink row. And then black is just an intimidating shadow in my personal opinion, unless I'm using it for a liner or something. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be working on. So if we're seeing a lot of looks with this palette, that's why it's my 2021 PTP. I'm trying to decide if once I hit pan in every shade, if I want to keep going or if I want to rotate it out and give it a break. So that'll probably be in an upcoming update when I decide. I mean, I have time. I don't think I'm going to be hitting pan in every shade anytime soon. So, but that is the first project that I'm participating in. The second project is what we're calling a rainbow palette pan off. This is a challenge that my friend Eleni and I came up with randomly one day. I will link her below. Essentially, I had posted the e.l.f. and J. Kissa palette and I had hit a pan. And these are very shallow pans. So I was kind of like boasting to her, like, oh, I could probably like hit pan in every shade by the end of the year. And she was like, well, I have this palette, so like, let's do it. So we're doing a pan off right now currently, and I want to win. So I'm working very hard on this palette. When we started the challenge, I just had I just had pan in this green shade over here. So as you can see, I've made a lot of progress on this palette. I have 4 shades left to hit pan on. I am trying to finish it by the next update, but we'll see. These 2 shades are packed pretty tightly, so I don't really know. I used this shade and these 2 shades for my look today. I'm just trying to figure out different combinations that I'm comfortable with and using them, and I really love how the look came out today. So it's something that I could recreate and get a lot of use out of those shades. And this challenge is just going until whoever hits pan in every shade first. So like I said, I'm hoping to wrap that up soon, but I've really enjoyed this project overall. It's been really fun, and I've created so many gorgeous, colorful looks. Those are also all over on my Instagram if you want to check those out. And then a project that I talked a little bit about in my last video, I believe, is my rotating 9-pan. So with this project, it's something that I'm sure I'm not the first one to think of it, but I hadn't seen anything. I just decided to put some singles and some shadows that I wanted to hit pan on. Like these two are left over from my 2020 PTP. So I kind of just put them all into their own custom palette. And then when I hit pan in a shade, I will rotate it out and I'll rotate something else in. That way I'm kind of rotating through some of my singles, whether those be depotted shades or purchased singles. I have a really nice dip in this shade. I have a good one in this shade and this shade and this shade. So I have quite a few that are getting ready to be close to pan. I honestly just had been kind of neglecting this since I have been going hard on my other two projects, but yeah, rotating 9-pan, check. And then the last thing I'm doing is just a, generic good old fashioned project pan. So this started out with, I think I had like 10 to 12 items. I don't recall. I probably should have looked before this video, but I had quite a few items in here and I'm down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm down to 6 items. And this is something that I rotate or I update when progress occurs kind of thing. So the first product in here is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. Since my last update, I've even made some more progress here, but I hate this. I think it sucks. It doesn't do anything for my makeup. Honestly, it breaks my makeup up so badly on my face. So I'm not a fan of this right now. I'm currently just using it like if I'm taking a more defined brush, dipping it into a shadow and then it needs to be wetted, then I use this setting mist, which, can take a long time if that's all you're using it for. So yeah, I'm hate panning it because I hate it, but also it's serving a good purpose right now. So I don't want to just declutter it because yeah, it comes in use and I would rather wet my brush with that than like with my Urban Decay setting mist. So yeah. Speaking of Urban Decay, the next product is the Urban Decay All Nighter Waterproof Setting Powder. So it looks wonky because I had hit pan. I had a very large pan and the pan was so large that it couldn't hold itself anymore and it like broke. So I repressed this pretty recently, I would say within the last month or so. And that's where progress is right now. I definitely think I'll be able to finish this by the end of the year. I really enjoy this setting powder. I actually already have a replacement purchase, which is why I decided to go ahead and put this in the project because I already have a replacement, so I need to get moving. But for me, pressed powders definitely get more use in the summer because I experience a lot more oil, whereas in the winter I'm a little bit drier. So if I use a powder, I can get a little bit dried out. So I've been using this and yeah, I honestly, if I work hard on it, I could probably have this finished by the next update. We shall see. What do we want to do next? What do we want to do? Powder foundation. I've used this a lot already. This is the Tarte Kind is the New Pretty Shape Tape Powder Foundation. I also recently repressed this one because the pan was so big. It was really difficult for me to dip like my, a fluffy brush if I want lighter coverage, but also if I was wanting to use like my Kabuki foundation brush, I couldn't get all the way in there because it was just around the last 2 rims. So I went ahead and repressed this and I think that that will help. The shade is also a bit deep for me, so that's kind of halted progress as well. But now that we're getting into the warmer months, I can actually use it. And this is a preference for when I'm going to the office because my makeup just holds up really well when I use a powder foundation. So I definitely think I'll be able to finish this by the end of the year. The next product is my JSC loose setting powder. This one is in the shade Rose and we're about like right in here minus whatever's chilling in the cup or whatever. but I really like this setting powder. It's really good. I'm not, you'll find out I am not a scent person. I hate scent, but this smells like cotton candy and I actually really enjoy it. I don't know why. So I will be sad when this is gone, but I don't support the brand anymore, so I will not be repurchasing. And honestly, this will probably last me throughout the rest of the year, if not the majority of the year, because as I mentioned in my last video, I don't really use loose powder to set anything other than my under eye, except for today, because after the last video, I was like, oh, I need to like try that out on my own, you know? I used it and I just set like right in here with the loose powder to get a little bit of extra use out of it to hold everything in place. So yeah, this one will probably be around for a while though. Okay, and then the last two products that are left in my project pan for this year is going to be the Physicians Formula Butter Highlighter. This one is in the shade, I can't talk. But this one is in the shade Rose Gold. I really love this, and it's gonna even better in the summer because it is like a really gold highlight. I am wearing it today, super pretty, but in the summer I can also use this on my collarbones. As you can see, I have a lot of progress on this. I definitely think it will take me until the end of the year to finish, or it'll be close to finishing by then. It kind of just depends on how much more use I actually get out of it during the summer months when I can apply it kind of everywhere. But I do love this highlight and I love this formulation. I don't have a repurchase or backup of this particular shade, but I do have like a little trio that they sent me that has like some other butter highlights in it. Also, I am an affiliate with Physicians Formula. I'll leave all my affiliate links in the description box. If you want to check those out, they'll be under my link tree. If you want to shop, thank you. I appreciate you in advance. If not, that's totally fine too, but I just realized I hadn't mentioned it until now. But yeah, really love this highlight. And then the last one is this KKW contour, which for me acts more like a bronzer. That's what I have on today as well. Gorgeous. I love it. If you're coming from my Instagram, you know how much of a bear that this freaking like contour is. I seriously have had a pan in this for like, what are we in now? Middle of May. I've had a pan in this for like 7 or 8 months, and this is all the farther I have gotten with it. Like, it is just pressed so tightly, and it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It's just like the oldest one in my collection now. So I was like, okay, like let's, you know, work through that. But I have a feeling that there's no way I will ever finish this by the end of the year. I'm still using it regularly. There for a while, I used it like all the time for like 2 months. Not that you can even tell. But yeah, so this isn't my project, so I use it pretty frequently, but you probably won't see any progress really until it's like huge because it goes so slowly. But yeah, and I think that is all the projects that I'm in. Over on my Instagram, I do have guides for every project that I am participating in, just in case I did miss one. But these are the big projects that I am doing. And hopefully one of those will be checked off by the end of the month. But yeah, those are the big projects that I'm in. I'm also, I know I mentioned this before, but I'm also doing a lip declutter series over on my Instagram, letting people pick in the polls from my stories if I should keep or if I should toss. If you want to actively participate in that, you can follow me on IG and it's in my stories. Once we wrap that up and I do have the piles of declutter and keep, I will do a whole like video over here so that you guys can see as well. But yeah, that's pretty much all for me today. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy Project Pan videos and updates and if you want to see those monthly or not, and we'll kind of just gauge from there. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out today. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell before you leave, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.